Welcome to another Wildfire live stream. I'm your host, Jade Robertson, and I'm glad to be back here tonight. My old trusty companion, my acoustic guitar. And just gonna start jamming along, I suppose. Welcome, Jason and Manolis, to the live stream. I'd wave digitally at you, but I'm Nicholas Jansen is here. I might as well welcome him into the live stream and go live with him. And cohort, Mr. Nicholas Jansen, up in the house.
Hey!
How you doing, man?
I'm so good. Well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I got my trusty old, my old Git fiddle.
Yep.
Nice to see you. It's nice to see everybody arrive in the live stream right at 8. We were a little bit late. We were about a minute late today.
It's unacceptable.
How you been?
I've been good. How are you?
Well, just been working along every day, just, trying to enjoy the weekends, kick back, relax, try and, get back to my roots.
One sec. I hear someone else is talking in the house.
What's going on? You're buffering. There's issues with your internet connection, I think. I don't know what the heck's going on here. What the hell? You good? What?
Hello? Oh my God. This is not the way I planned it. Hey, everybody.
The capo's blocking the X where I can remove you.
That is awesome.
It's a bit of an awkward introduction back, but
well, I exited out of the app, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm gone.
You're still buffering on the bottom, so I'm just going to exit you out of here. And sorry to remove you, Nicholas Jansen.
Amazing intro.
Add you in, my man. He's back. He's back.
I did it.
You guys. Yeah, we are. This is the reality we're in. So this is Buzzball.
Made it back. I just transported thousands of miles.
Nice to see you. It's good to have you back.
One for the paper.
One for the papers.
That's my favorite thing to do. Well, it's great to be back, everybody. Hi.
Hello.
It's been a long time since I've been on this live stream. It's been since last season.
I'm beaming.
But I've been in the flesh.
Beaming. It's crazy.
You are beaming. Our lights are beaming. I'm sweating profusely already. It's wonderful.
Just drinking lots of water.
I gotta get my beverage. I apologize.
Well,
this was all I expected it to go so much smoother, but
yeah, there were some portals involved with Nick coming back here, I think, as well as some internet connection connectivity issues. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to have Nick back on the live stream as the full-time co-host with me.
I'm going to be a little rusty in this live stream, but bear with me, everybody. I forgot how to ask questions.
Well, I'm just going to jump right in there to I hope everybody's joined here because they missed some stand-up comedy and you might have just stumbled upon something spectacular. To join your honorable hosts, Jade Robertson Films, that's me.
Nicholas Jansen, that's me. And Nicholas Jansen, that's me.
Back in the flesh, as we're going to go live with Canadian stand-up comedian Manolis Zontanos.
Very excited for that.
Okay. Manolis is a Canadian stand-up comedian from Hamilton, Ontario. He has appeared on the Comedy Network with his own special, Just for Laughs, MTV Canada, and more. Touring the world as a comedian, Manolis has worked with the likes of Russell Peters, Ari Shaffir, and Rick Shapiro, to name a few. His unique brand of humor allows audiences into the mind of a simple, yet at the same time very complex man that leaves people feeling as though they have made a new best friend. He's not one to miss. So,
well, Jade, you first met Manolis on the set of White Lie.
Yeah.
And you two hit it off and thick as thieves, and you just knew you'd be doing a live stream together someday when the world was finally ready for it.
Yeah, we met on White Lie, which was originally Baldy, which was a feature shooting in Hamilton in November of 2019. And yeah, it was the last thing I worked on outside of Toronto. Or the last thing I worked on before I moved to Toronto.
Wouldn't that be 2018?
No. 2020, 2021. I've only been in Toronto for 2 years.
You were in Toronto in 2019?
No.
With Brandon?
2020.
No, that was us.
2019.
2019 we shot Wildfire.
I'm very confused. It's pandemic.
What is years?
I have pandemic brain. I don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah, no, you moved to Toronto in 2019 with Brandon.
So I moved to Toronto in 2019 with Brandon Ewell, my cousin.
I know Jade's life story better than he does.
So about 2 months before that, I met Manolis on White Lie. So it's been 3 years. It'll be two years and change.
2 years.
It'll be 2 years in November. In November, it'd be 2 years. 3 years.
3 years in November. 2 years now.
Anyways.
What's the year anyway?
Yeah, so I hope that everybody's sort of gone back into Manolis's circa 2007 Comedy Network special, which is dynamite gold.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we're all set to go live with Mr. Manolis. So I think, without further ado, let's bring him on. Oh my God!
What's happening?
A little bit of music, a little bit of music.
Hello.
Welcome, Manolis!
Hey, dudes.
How you doing?
I was like really tripped out how you started the show.
Yeah, me too. I was planning to do like a smooth little skit. It was gonna be funny. Internet has different plans.
Wait, you jumped up, and I was like, "What?"
It worked.
Like in my brain, I'm like, "Why? Why is this impressing me so much?"
Freaking editing special effects.
Nick is infamous or famous on TikTok for a lot of the videos he's been doing there. So he's kind of a creative engine, and he came up with that idea. So he just went to town with it.
Well, you weren't supposed to see me in our test run earlier, so it was gonna be a little surprise. But you know,
Oh, I saw you there, but then, like when we did this, I already forgot about it. I'm like, oh, I guess they're at different houses.
perfect.
We tried to put some planning into it.
How did he get there so fast?
Ran.
It was pretty good.
That was good.
You did a good job.
It just crapped the bed at the end, but you know.
You won over Manolis. This is good.
That's great.
I was honestly entertained.
Hey, we want to entertain first.
We all saw the test run, says Pat Gagliardi. Patty.
Oh yeah, you're friends with Pat.
Let me start with that. That was my last question. How do you know Patrick and Ralph from Corkscrew?
You know, so they became friends with Patrick Coppolino. Do you know?
He's a stand-up?
He's a stand-up, but he runs also Levity Comedy Club, and I don't know how he even knew these guys, but they they were doing like a competition on Wednesdays, like for amateur comedy competition. So like every week we needed judges. So he asked them, and they started coming down and judging the Wednesday shows. But I wasn't in the competition. I would just do stand-up in the middle of the night or at the end of the night. And week by week, I started slowly becoming friends with them.
Okay.
To the
They
point
grew on you. They grew on you. Like wine grows in the great vineyards of Niagara. Like the show they made that I shot a little bit of, Corkscrewed, that is all about the wine culture.
thought about you a bit of that.
I saw you live at the presentation. That was where I made the connection after working on White Lie with you, that you also were connected with Pat and Ralph. Where we had that. It was at Brock.
We were talking that night, right?
I came up to you. I was like, "Yo, can I have your email?"
But that's the night we were talking about how we did background work together or something, right?
White Lie.
Yeah.
It was Baldy at the time.
I barely remember. What was it, a movie or a TV show?
It was a movie, and I came to a show that you did in Hamilton, close to McMaster, just down the street, like a college comedy club, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Emerson, I think it was called.
That was cool. That was a cool comedy experience. I was really stoned out of my mind. It was just like in the front row, and everybody was, destroying me, but it was a really nice time.
Right. You haven't done stand-up, though, right?
I've done a little bit of stand-up, yeah. I worked at Absolute Comedy a year and a half ago for like 6 months.
Okay, because did we talk about at Emerson about you doing comedy or not? We did.
I had done it with David Green at the Niagara Showtime Club, St. Catharines Showtime. Yeah, I'd done it.
Thought so.
3 times there, but like 3 times is 3 times. I've done it twice at Absolute. Once went well, once one did not go well at all.
How did that affect you?
Woo!
Like that, right?
Whoa.
Kind of exactly like that, Manolis. But
It sounded like that.
But instead, it was like just a little bit quieter.
I was there for his first time.
Well, I've done it really. I've had a lot of times where I bombed, but at least my friends have been there, so they have like good memories of the times I bombed. So it's kind of like fun for them to recall upon those memories. So that's nice for them.
Were you able to do it again after you bombed?
Yeah, I did actually, and I did it in an environment that was not. It was like I was bartending at a weird engineers sort of party where they and they were just like, this guy does stand up, so they gave me the microphone, like the MC gave me the microphone, and I just did 5 minutes of my stupid jokes that I do my opening jokes like my first 3 or 4 minutes. And I was like, that's it, no more, because it's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna get worse.
Did it good?
There was like 2 or 3 minutes. I exaggerated and said 3 or 4, but it was more like 2 or 3.
That's fine. Get out. If you're doing good enough and you can get out, you're like, okay, that's it. It's like,
Felt like 30 seconds, but Nick is hilarious on TikTok to give some fire, some spice, some sauce Nick's way. He's been killing it on TikTok.
I'm funny with editing, so I need editing to be funny. So
editing can make it saves everything. It makes everything better. Truth.
But I love stand up. I love seeing Jade try it out, and I love watching it. So I'm all for it.
Manolis, are you down to enter into some of these questions that we've written?
Yeah, sure. I'll answer any question. To tell you true.
What I guess drew you to comedy? What struck you about comedy, and how early did you sort of start?
I was 27, I believe. I think. Yeah, I was 27 when I started doing stand-up comedy.
That's my age.
Are you 27 right now?
I'm 27, like currently. I'm not going to be 27 in 2 months.
Okay, I was like, that's fun. It's weird that you say that. I was 27, but I was like 2 months later, I was 28. It was like
just at the end.
I was like barely 27 anymore, but I was like I almost could say I was 28 when I started, but I was like 27. 2 months go by, boom, right? Still, right? We got, and then a friend of mine started doing stand up that I used to party with back in the day, and I was like, I've always kind of like was thinking about it. I thought it'd be cool because like funny people usually. They've been there's been funny all their lives, and it's like that I swear to God, and I bet you guys have said this too. They always say like, yeah, I can make my friends laugh, but making people laugh that I don't know, that's different. I'm like, I don't think I could do that. That's like, it's like they're justifying why they shouldn't try something that they want to try. And I'm like, almost every person I've ever met that's a comic said that once, or even said that to me, and then started doing stand up, right?
Yeah.
So and I would say the same thing. Like and then once I realized a friend of mine started doing it, I was like, I had this thing in my brain. I'm like, oh my God, oh fuck, anybody can do it. Like there's a part of me because when you don't know someone personally that does stand-up comedy, you almost think it's some sort of magical world that you just don't know anything about, and you're like, maybe these people are born into it. You don't even know. You don't know. I knew nothing about how people even started or how to did anything. And then I told my friend, I saw he was doing stand up, and he was hosting an amateur night at Yuck Yucks Hamilton. And then after about 6 months, I kind of finally said to him, I think I want to try this. And then he calls me that next day in the afternoon. It was a Wednesday, I think, or Thursday, and he goes, you're on next week. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's it? That's that easy to get on? I couldn't believe it was that easy to get on. I'm like, I wasn't even ready. But prior to this, which is really hilarious, about 2 months prior to this, it's weirdly enough, this is so fucked up. I became friends with Russell Peters before I was even doing stand up.
Just as a friend, he became your friend.
We just became friends because he was like I'd go to all these shows,
right?
My friend, and I kept meeting Russell. I saw that, yeah. And then I said to him, and then one day he goes, "Hey, then I remember started going, "Hey, what's your name again?" I go, Manolis. He goes, "Do you do stand up?" I go, "No." I goes, "Oh, you'll do it." And I'm like, I didn't even believe him then. And then 6 months go by, and I'm on stage, and then that was it. I did it once, and I was like, oh, I'm doing this forever.
What's Russell Peters like when you're standing beside him?
He's definitely a magical person.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about Russell too, right? I've been friends with non-famous Russell probably I guess about as long as famous Russell.
Oh, that's cool.
Right? Yeah. Like he literally texted me like 3 days ago in the morning. It was like 7 a.m. and I thought something was wrong. I'm like, he was just asking me if I was gonna open for him, like in this gig that's happening this weekend and all this shit. But before he was before he was famous, I always felt like I was hanging out with someone famous. I always felt like in my brain, I always thought like this guy is going to be this. I'm not going to have this time with this guy one day anymore because I knew he was going to be like this huge star, and then I'll just see him when I see him, or I talk to him when I talk to him, which is exactly what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that about your friendship, that it kind of like got detached over him being famous, and like that you didn't get to see your friend as much. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's funny. It's funny because you're like, I can tell you, I feel like you're being scared, but I feel like you're like talking to me like I'm a child almost. It was funny. But sorry, like I felt like I was a
I'm
kid.
just trying to be supportive and try to be a friend to you, because we're hanging out here, and you know, I mean, I have water, but I have a beer, and I'm gonna open my beer soon too, so I'll have a beer with you. And you know, we're celebrating life, and to your health, to everybody's health. You know, here we are. That's that was a wonderful answer. That was a wonderful answer to a question. Thank you for that
You're
answer.
welcome. But he is honestly though, like he's like I would see him like when like non-famous Russell would be like I'd see him like, hey man, I got these shoes. Do you want these shoes? I don't want them. He'd give me like $100 pair of shoes just because someone else gave them to him. He would give you stuff all the time, even like when he was like just a guy that wasn't rich yet. You know what I mean? Like then you know even rich Russell, yeah,
Gave you less.
yeah. That was it.
He started asking for things from you.
Exactly right. But yeah, he's a rad. He's definitely a rad dude.
Do you do any other kinds of writing other than comedic writing?
I don't. I try to write. Sometimes I'll try to write skits with people. Sometimes do that. I try to. If comedians are really fucking lazy, man, and
Steve Girodat says Manolis is so hot. Let's throw some fire in the chat from Manolis and how hot he is. Let's go. Woo!
Girodat's hilarious. You know Girodat?
I think I have a reference, or like a reference letter from him or something, and we might know each other. I don't think I know him, but I want to know him. Oh, my friend Mikey Rocco in the house. He's a good man. He's a great man. Thank you for entering, Mikey. So yeah, you stick to comedy. Do you think that good storytellers would be good stand-up comedians? Since comedians are good storytellers, would good storytellers be able to find funny bits and be good comedians? Do you think that it translates? Did you ever meet an incredible storyteller who just wasn't funny?
No. I think if you're a good storyteller, you're probably gonna be like. I mean, I rarely see people do stand up and go then become better at writing bits than the other way around. Like it's usually like me. I was like always just telling dick jokes forever, and then eventually I got the confidence to try to fucking talk about my life more. Even though talking about my dick is my life, I guess. But you know what I mean? Like when you tell a story, you're like you don't. It's like you know how it is. We were talking about tanking. You throw it out there. You have no idea, especially at the beginning. Like, is this story going to be funny? And it's such a weird. It's so weird. Like especially with a story too. Like sometimes you'll get a story and you'll get it good, and it's like okay, this is a good story. But sometimes you start telling this fucking story, and the audience is not with you, and you go, I got 2 more minutes of this. Like, because it's a story, right? And you're like, oh man, I'm gonna to finish the story and like eat a dick for another 2 minutes until I can try to get out of this hole. You know.
Hopefully, you can. When you feel that, you can just sort of like go, "Hey, I'm talking to you," and just wake them up.
I could see you doing stand up for sure. Like, you're like,
He's on. He's never off.
yeah, you're very. I can feel your likability.
I like talking to people, and I like being able to talk to individuals, but I feel like a group of an audience of people and being able to connect with all of them at the same time is difficult, because I think in my head I got to rely on the writing, and I got to rely on what, like, the way I've delivered it in the past and the way I've rehearsed it. So finding the naturalness of being on stage is still something I have yet to conquer, but hopefully when COVID's over, I'll get another chance. Hopefully you will have a lot more chances to be doing stand-up, so you must be looking forward to that in a COVID-free world, and that sort of, I don't know.
The shit, man.
Yeah, man. Like
I'll get 100.
I feel for you. I feel for you. What are you looking forward to most about returning to the stage?
Just there's this weird a fork feeling like afterwards or during, like when you do stand up, like, and you've done it where when you have those sets where you're just like in the moment, and it's not like you're telling 10 jokes. You felt like you told one joke and then it was over. Like you got on, and then say you were on there for 15 minutes, it felt like 15 seconds. It was so, and you get off, and the rest of the night's great. That the show is great. It's just like there's something so, and it's for me too. It's like I go it'll keep me happy for like in at least another 3-4 days.
Just
Like,
that rush from that one show that you did.
yeah, if it goes good, yeah, like it really helps your brain, bud. Like really helps your brain. There's just like it's such a rush in your fucking brain where you're like, this is fucking what's better, dude. Really, like I would like I can say this now because I feel like I've had enough sex in my life, but I
Right.
would pick doing stand up over getting laid.
Well, I was gonna let Nick ask some questions from at the beginning, but would you ever have sex at a funeral?
I picked up a girl at a funeral once, but I never banged her afterwards. But I would definitely have sex at a funeral for sure.
Yeah, that was just one to get out there.
I was gonna go over here since we're
Yeah,
talking
take it
about that.
on.
When was the last time you actually performed on stage for a crowd? How long ago was that?
It feels like after the last shutdown we had, we're like,
Yeah.
it was like I don't know how long that is. It was, what a fucking
Last summer?
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's just been it feels like 10 years. I bet like several months now. I guess.
We went to a show at Absolute. It was like early September, and that was like very interesting to see how. How do you feel the comedy scene has adapted to COVID and how it will evolve past it? Do you think it will go back to exactly how it was, or?
I think everything will just go back to normal. I think eventually, like once all the things are lifted, and like there'll be 200 people in the club again. People are done. People don't care. Like no one's go to Walmart, man. Go to fucking Value Village. As people are lined up to go in. No one. People are wearing masks only so they don't have to deal with some fucking Karen going, "Your fucking mask," or some dude. Like it's like I just wear my mask just so people don't start shit with me, so I don't fucking hurt anybody, And but I think I don't know. I'm not saying this. I'm not even saying that this is fake. I'm saying I do think it's a real thing, but I think people are just so over it, man. I think we're going to be fine, dude. Everything will be back. People are going to go back talking about their dicks, and it's going to be great, And I'm
Dick
not
never stopped for us.
The dick talk never stops.
And I'm not going to fucking. I'm not going to be one of these guys start figuring out how to do like.
Patrick's loving this. I can feel his heart's just coming through right now. Patrick's he's fully erect over there. He's going hard.
I'm not going to fucking be a Zoom stand-up comic. You know what I mean?
I get you. Right.
Like fuck that, dude.
Yeah. Have you done one of these like drive-in shows, or have you been to one?
No, but I mean, I would do like there's people. I would do that.
Right. It's interesting way to get around it at the moment. So that was kind of cool. Those are happening.
Dude, my buddy Joel owns a club like it's 2 hours outside of New York, and he like COVID happened, so he started doing shows outside in the parking lot, and he was just a regular like a comedy club, Joel Souls, I think it's called. I always think it's like Joel Souls or Soul Joels. I always my dyslexia, but they got all the biggest. He got all the biggest comedians in the world because all the comedy clubs are closed, and this unknown comedy club that just opened got like Louis K, fucking Dice, and everybody. I think Steinfeld's done it. Tons of because people are dying for station, and now that this guy's kind of hooked up.
Benefit of having a parking lot.
Another question that you kind of led yourself into there. Do you keep a yellow legal pad like Jerry Seinfeld?
I do like to keep. I do keep a type of a notebook. I did try the yellow pad like Seinfeld, but I just like I like using a pen and just like white paper, blue pen, white paper. I do like Seinfeld though. I don't understand like sometimes comedians, certain comedians, or just some or just general public, uh, non-comedians, will be like, I don't think he's that funny. I don't know why. It's like I think this guy's a fucking genius. So he watches new stuff, watches old stuff.
Amen. Amen.
Like, you know what kills me? You know what really bothers me too? Because it's just the fact that he's very good at being clean too, right? So they give him a fucking. They kind of try to be like, well, he's not a dirty comic, so fuck him, right? But it's like, dude, he's just as funny as a dirty comic, being clean. But it's like when you fucking say, it's like, would you just say like if you're like a musician and you're like, fuck Zeppelin, fuck the Doors, they suck. Like, are you like this is Seinfeld is one of the fucking greats, and he deserves so much respect. I think in person I can see maybe he might be a little bit of a dick, maybe, but
I think he's mean. I think he's mean. Like he was mean to Mark Maron in that podcast. I just found Seinfeld to just be like, Mark Maron was just like, I'm the sad guy. I'm sad. Like, can we just like talk? And he's like, no, we gotta be funny. We gotta be funny. And it's just like,
oh really? I didn't hear that podcast. So like, was Seinfeld being like, what the fuck?
Just genuinely abrasive. Genuinely though.
Yeah, he definitely he's funny because he doesn't look. It's weird because he definitely doesn't look like a tough guy. He doesn't, like Seinfeld doesn't look like someone's like, I'll fucking smash you, bud. He's not that guy, right? But at the same time, I don't think he would be afraid of Maron either. So I guess he could. Yeah,
Maron's too sad. Nobody's afraid of Maron.
Yeah, exactly. Maron's like, but I don't know. Like Maron's like fucking.
He's wily though. He's wily. So like, you don't want to fuck with Maron.
Yeah, I could see Seinfeld being like, I'm not part of your fucking, like, oh, I'm Maron, I was broken and now I'm not broken, but I'm still trying to figure it out.
And that's the funny part. No.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not, and like Seinfeld's like, I don't fucking care, dude. I know you too long to deal with your shtick. Let's just fucking talk or whatever. I can see it being like that. I do like Maron, but there's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's a good podcast. Do you dedicate writing time during the day?
No.
No,
I have.
Comes.
No, I do like I do write more when I was. It's hard. Like when I was doing stand up, I wrote more, and I do write a little bit. I'll go into my notes and write, but like it's hard to fucking like. It's something when you get on stage and you got the fucking comedy juices flowing, then you start to go fucking. You'll go home and rewrite a joke that you just did on stage, or you'll look at notes and it's like, it's really hurting me not doing stand up. I came up with a couple ideas and I got to write out, but it's dude, so I've been doing stand up for like over 20 years. I got like the first 10 years, probably the first 8 years of my stand up career, all on cassette tapes. Still, like I have them all. I have like 100 cassette tapes, just all audio recorded sets, like from all over Ontario, just trying to figure this shit out,
Yeah. Would you say you massage your jokes, or do you comb them, or do you just vomit them out?
Oh, I vomit them out. If I have an idea, I might make a couple notes, but I like to kind of throw it out, and then especially if it's a story. What happens with the stories, I'll throw it out. Sometimes like I have this story about me getting my prostate checked, and when I first started telling it on stage, it was probably like 12 minutes long, and by the time I figured it out, it was like 4 minutes long. So like you keep doing it, and all of a sudden you just go, I don't need to tell this part. Why am I telling this part? You'll just tell, like, especially when you're doing stand up, you feel like you need to tell everything. Like the story. Like, I mean, every part of the story is important. Then you realize not every part of the story. So you start editing your story down and you just tell the same story, and just so it's tighter and faster and better,
Right. Much like a prostate exam.
fucking yeah.
You're a renowned stand-up. Do you ever sit down?
No, I don't like it. I don't dig it, man. You mean on stage? You gotta be really fucking confident. Maybe done it a long time, but there's something, I really fucking I hate. Like it's like I'm not a negative person, but there's certain things about stand up like just fucking annoy me. Like if like I mean a friend of mine, Sean Collins, he lives in the UK, but he's a wicked stand up and he likes to sit down while he does the stand up. And it's just but he's really fucking funny and it just works. You know what I mean? It works. And like sometimes if you got like chops or you've been around or you're just like, you know, you know what you're doing, I get it. But if you're just like sometimes you'll see some good dude in the comics like been doing it for like a week and they're sitting down and like, hey, okay, let me tell you about my life. And you're like, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. On your third show, you're sitting down to give me the words of wisdom that you're about to like you're gonna like bring me into your world and tell me something funny and like what you like you're like Jesus, you're fucking like Norm Chomsky or something. Like what the fuck are you doing right now? Stand the fuck up. And number two,
I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've done that, and I'm guilty of that, and I shouldn't have done that, and I regret doing that. And anyway,
I'm interested. What is your take on comics that carry the whole mic stand back and forth on stage?
Like drag it around, you mean, or like just
yeah?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't like I don't mind if you take the mic out and you're holding the stand and doing stuff with it or whatever.
Right.
I don't like if the mic I don't like when they just leave the mic in and just like do that with the stand or something. Right. I don't like that, and I don't what's that?
Right to rock and roll.
I don't like I really don't like I don't like when comedians this is a guy thing too, because girls are just girls, you know what I mean? They wear shorts. I don't like it when they wear shorts on stage. And
yeah,
I like it. It's just like
I completely understand what you're saying. I've never thought about it, but I completely understand what you're saying now.
If I see a comedian, if I walk into a club and I go out to, because I like to watch the amateurs or just people I don't know or just in general. If I'm at a club, I don't watch comedy on TV or the internet. I haven't really watched any stand up for like over 20 years. But I'll watch live stand up. Like that's where I'm like if I walk into a comedy club and I see a fucking dude with shorts on, I walk out. I go back out in the lobby and just talk to someone. I'm like, I won't even give you a fucking minute. I'm done. You're wearing shorts. Like, what the fuck, dude?
What about khakis?
Yeah, okay, khakis.
Like Rafa Nadal.
I just don't want to see your legs, man. I don't want to see your calves. I don't want to see like. Sometimes like the comic will have big calves too. Like they're like, what are you doing, bro?
I don't know if we asked this already. What was it like growing up in the Hammer and pursuing comedy there?
It was interesting. It's definitely interesting. Still interesting. Like, because it's weird. Like Hamilton's is a bit of a tough city. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like even today, like I went to a friend of mine's store downtown, Vintage Soul Geek. It's a clothing store, and then I went to I went to Dollarama for a second to get something, and there was like a fucking crazy guy in the front of the store, like just like maybe schizo, but it's trying to pretend like talking to me, but not talking to me. And I'm like, I don't fucking have time for this dude. Like I remember thinking that but it's like he was trying to throw that vibe out, seeing if I was going to be like, oh, what's going on? It's like, I'll fucking, buddy, I'm just getting some fucking toilet paper, but I'll smash you. All right. Like if that's what this is about to be, I'll do that too. I'll give you a roll to clean up the blood, but don't fuck with me right now. But that's like Hamilton's like, no one's looking for a fight, but everybody's ready for one. That's Hamilton.
I'm talking about repping Hamilton in other cities and like other people putting Hamilton down, like, and sort of experiencing what it feels like to sort of like, whenever you bring it up, it's always like, people, do you get roasted a lot, I guess is what I'm asking. And
yeah, I mean, sometimes like other comedians from other cities be like, oh, Hamilton. Yeah. But like the thing about Hamilton, it's like comedians usually that are from Hamilton or coming up in Hamilton, they'll go other places and they'll do well. But like people like sometimes like comics that just do mostly Toronto, but don't get outside of Toronto or just don't get like to London or Hamilton yet, and they'll be like, oh fuck, why is it so hard there? Because like people don't laugh unless they think it's funny. They're not like, you go to Toronto, man. I fucking love doing Toronto, like stand up, like say you go to Yuck Yucks in Toronto. It's like having a girlfriend that likes to fuck without the foreplay. It's just like, boom, let's fucking do this, good to go.
Right.
They're already believing you. It's almost like this. It's almost like Americans. Like Americans are like, you go stand-ups in America, like audiences, they're like, all right. Like they're like into it like you're already fucking famous. It's like, you think like, I'm what the fuck? Am I Chris Rock? What the fuck is going on here? They're just into it, where Hamilton's like, nah, man, nah.
So it makes you work harder. So that's good.
Yeah, I'll laugh, but you have to do it. So therefore, like, I think comedians that are from Ontario, but mostly like Hamilton, I would even say London, Kitchener, like these cities, there's something, that has maybe that blue collar, something when there's a blue collar vibe. When you're blue collar, people that work all day, they're fucking tired. They show up on a Friday night. They're there, yeah, man. But these people work 40 hours this week, but they're not like you worked at Ford and you're building cars. You're at a factory, putting your head down and fucking welding 8 hours a day. Then they come see me and I got them like, come on, guys, what the hell? Aren't you into this? No, I'm not. I'm not. Make me fucking laugh. And there's like, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, and like when I was like 15 years old, I was like, I bought this. Can I show it to you?
Yeah,
I'll show you.
Yes. Lots of hearts. Lots of love.
Lots of love.
Lots
Thank
of
you
love.
for everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Manolis, you're getting a lot of compliments here. Manolis rules. Manolis is hot.
Yeah, shout out to everybody for joining this awesome Tuesday night.
Having a great time.
What?
Let's see, right? So you can see it better. I bought this when I was 15 years old, I think I was. It's a picture. So right there, it's backwards, I think, but it says Van Halen interview. It says limited edition, 25,000 copies.
Wow.
So I actually recorded this with my iPhone, and it's on YouTube if you want to listen to it. It's a cool interview. But in this, David Lee Roth says, there's talking about, like, the interviewer goes, a lot, and it's stuck in my brain. It's stuck in my brain from the age of 15. A lot of bands talk about that spark. They get that spark from the audience, and it becomes more alive. And David Lee Roth says, it's like, I ain't got time for no fucking spark. You got to catch up to me. I'm 15 when I hear this on that album, and I'm like, it just stuck in my brain, man. And I'm like, it's like, so when I go up when I do stand up, when I go on stage, I'm like, if they're not into it, I'm like, fuck you. I'm doing it. You're gonna have to catch up to what I'm doing, and eventually you're gonna be laughing as much as I think you should laugh, like you should have at the beginning. But I'm not gonna stop believing in myself just because you don't believe in me.
Right.
Because I don't got time to wait for no fucking spark. And that I always think about that before I go on stage. Always. My whole life, my whole stand-up career. Like David Lee Roth. I'm a huge Van Halen fan, obviously. But
you already have the spark. They're chasing you.
Right, exactly, right?
So what's your favorite I guess part talking about like traveling to do comedy into the States and whatnot, what's your favorite part of going on the road, and what do you miss most about that?
I miss obviously just seeing new places is fun, and you party with different comedians, and it's just fun to get like a taste of the audiences. Are like, like Calgary's really cool. You go to Vancouver, they're a little tight, and you got to work a little harder because they're a little woke. You know what I mean? So you got to fucking work harder for them to make them forget that they're trying to have an opinion instead of having. Which is fine. I don't mind the work, but I think what I honestly like, one thing what I love a lot about stand up in general too. So it's like, it's just it's just great. Like, say you're in Calgary, and you meet some girls after the show, and they want to party. It's fucking awesome, man. Like, you get to fucking maybe have a one night stand with some chick that's just because they're there. It's like a girl sees you do stand up, they all of a sudden are like fucking. They're like, oh, I feel like I know this guy, and you just hit it off, and then you have some fun. It's wicked.
Yeah, I worked at Absolute Comedy Club, and it was interesting watching just the week-to-week sort of rosters that came in and out, and how sort of the draws work in regards to that, and seeing different comics and their different draws in the city. Because you go city to city once, you go city to city twice, you start building up an audience, you start building up the people that want to come back the next time you're in town too, right? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool seeing a little bit of the actual what it's like to live the career of a comic. Working at Absolute as a bartender, it was also kind of sad. It's kind of sad. There's some weird shit. There's some weird comics out there, and it's like, I don't know. It's a weird thing too. But I guess
it is. Right. It's fucking really weird. There's a lot. There's a lot of cool comedians, but there's a lot of fucking weirdos, man. Or they're assholes, or they're too into themselves, or they think they're too important. It's like you never know what you're gonna get. The cool ones always eventually kind of gravitate to each other, and they're usually friends forever. But like I still friends with like Russell. Just texted me 2 days ago. I can't help him at all. There's nothing I can do for that guy.
Right.
He's got so much money. He can retire. He's got 3 or 4 houses. Like, I am nothing to him. There's nothing I can. The only thing I can give him is my friendship, and that's why he still talks to me to this day, because he actually likes that. That's why it says a lot about him as a person. Here's this dude that still wants to maintains this friendship with me, just because he values it. That's pretty fucking dope, man. It's pretty fucking dope when a guy could have. I can't comprehend how much money that guy has. Once you get when you start someone says 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, I start saying well, how I have to go, how many houses is that? Because I know houses 500,000. So I'd be like, how many houses? Oh, that's 20 houses. I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of money, But
well, I guess it's just it doesn't matter. Everybody's on the same platter as far as life goes, and you value the person the way they are, but and just before and after, it doesn't really matter. It's just your friend, and that's awesome. I mean, that's kind of the whole point, is to not get conceited and sell out and be just sort of I have to be friends with this person because they're famous, or you know what I mean, or try and go on a different motivation. It's just you're friends because you're friends, and it's just that's it. It's simple.
Yeah, it is that simple. It's I'm not better than you. I'm not above you, but I'm not below you. I'm just here, dude. I'm here, and you're here, and that's all there is. All we have now.
What are other types of jobs available for comedians? I know there's hosting, acting, writing. What has your experience been in attempting other entertainment vocations, but related to stand-up and comedy?
Well, I mean, if you're a funny person in general, and you have the time, if you do have the time, if you're not financially have to work a day job also, I would just say get get some type of it's a principal agent, and then try to get some auditions, especially I think I heard they're doing more video interview or auditions now because of COVID, so that's good. But if you live in Toronto and you can get to these auditions easily, because it's a real drag if you live in Hamilton and you're going to Toronto back for the 2 or 3 times a week for an audition, and you do 100 before you get. But if you get something, it could be a big deal. So I would recommend trying to kind of get into that, find a couple of guys that really want to make some videos, funny videos, and you find someone that can film and edit, and that's not lazy. So if you can fucking make the video.
You're lazy,
pretty lazy,
but you're good at filming and editing. You're good at editing. I have a skit show called Portals that I've been writing. It's 2 episodes so far, and they're all like Nick's on TikTok, so I'm like, I like the short form, sort of like quick comedy sort of sketch things. So some of them are only like a page long, a page and a half long, and then some of the other ones go on a little bit longer. But it's something that I'm sort of intending to shoot. It's like a sketch, weird. It's just fucking, it's weird. It's just like very just deranged and
I'd say
absurdist. Like, you know, like an Eric Andre meets sort of like a weird reality where everything's just a portal and you're kind of like jumping into different portals, and each one's fucked up than the last one you saw.
I was doing background work on that guy, some show that guy was doing. What was his name? Eric
Andre.
Yeah, I saw him on that one day. Oh no, he was on someone else. You know that skinny guy, that Canadian guy was in Tropic Thunder.
Jay Baruchel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was his show. It was some show that I was doing background work on.
Yes,
nice.
And that other guy was there doing a scene. So I didn't talk to him, but I did talk to the Canadian dude.
Best and worst celebrity interactions that you've had.
Best and worst. Oh, definitely in a weird way, my best and worst at the same time was I met Zach Galifianakis at Just for Laughs, and it was like 3 years. I think it was like 3 years before he popped.
Yeah.
With Hangover, and I was like maybe 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And he was the opening up for Janine Garofalo, and I think she brought him there just to open up, and I watched him, and I didn't know who he was, and I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's hilarious, but he tanked. So, but I thought he was hilarious, so I saw him, and then I said, dude, I just saw you 10 minutes ago. I saw him in the lobby of the hotel, and he goes, yeah. I was like, yeah, man, you're hilarious. He's like, what? He goes, are you fucking with me? He goes, you fucking with me? I'm like, he thought I was trying to mock him, like saying, like, that was hilarious, buddy, because he knew he didn't. And I go, no. I thought you were hilarious. Honestly, I'm a comic, and I know you didn't like your set, but I liked it. And then next thing you know, we were hanging out we hung out for fucking days at Just Laughs. So it's like every time you see me, he'd be like, walk up to me like, hey man, what's going on? What are you doing? I'm like, holy fuck, this, like, I'm like hanging out with Zach Galifianakis, and he's like, he was such a rad dude. The most interesting thing about him was like he was really serious kind of guy, really in depth, like loved having like really deep conversations. And then a couple people would come by, and then all of a sudden he'd turn on the fucking character and be all like weird and silly. And then they say someone left, and he'd be like, basically almost like, anyways, and back to like being like serious.
When you were hanging out with him, did he have that kind of Russell Peters energy where you're like, this guy's going to be a superstar? Did you feel that when you hung out with him?
Yeah, I did. I felt that. Yeah. It felt like he was so that silly character that he does, like with where like the way he does it on stage and like on The Hangover. He had it so like, and it's not, I don't think that's really him, but I think he would even admit that. But he had it so dialed in. It was just fucking perfect, you know? Like, but like then I was hanging out with him, and then Janine Garofalo was like to the left, and then I finally took a moment to try to talk to her, and I just fumbled. And I'm like, hey, I'm and you're Garofalo, and I just want to tell you I think you're awesome. And anyways, yeah, I'm probably just bugging you. All right, I'll just leave you alone. All right, and I just walked away. It was like that. Like I'm fucking just choked, you know?
You had to pee.
Yeah. But she's such a smoke show, dude. Fuck.
Janine Garofalo. Garofalo. I need to go and search her right now.
Yeah, as soon as you see her, she's been on everything, but she's just like there's something really genuine about her, you know? Yeah.
Right. So what have been some of your favorite on-set experiences as far as your acting or background goes?
I like one time I was on you ever heard of Murdoch Mysteries?
Mm-hmm.
The one time I've done mostly background, a little bit of acting here and there, but one time I was doing background on Murdoch Mysteries, and they're like, the scene was the building's on fire, and we need someone to come down we need someone to go up to the top to be the last person running out of this burning building. And you got to run down the stairs, and the cameras are to the right here. And then you're going to like go left and then down the fucking this alleyway. So I go, I'll do it. So I go to the, like, everybody's running out, but I'm the last one out. And they gave me like, it's Murdoch Mystery, so I'm dressed in a top hat and a fucking suit, and I have these 2 candlestick holders that are like, I'm taking with me because they're silver and they're worth money, I guess, right? So they go action. So I'm the last guy. So as I go down the stairs, I go on my one right foot and keep my left foot up in the air, and I do this kind of like, and then like go the other way and do the same thing like I'm a cartoon, like Laurel Hardy, and then I run down the alleyway like this, and then you hear cut and you hear everybody start laughing. Everybody's like, like laughing, and then the AD comes up to me and goes, "All right, that was hilarious. Don't do it again." And he goes, "Give me the candlestick holders," and takes the candlesticks away from me. "Don't do it again." And I'm like, "Okay, perfect." So like that was that's just like stupid things like that happen. But I can't think of sometimes you just be like on set and weird things will happen. Like there was like a guy, I was like making people laugh on set one time, and I was telling the story the other day to this girl because what was that motorcycle? What was that? Sons of Anarchy. You know the guy with the curly hair and the mustache? That character, I don't know his name. I know I'm like horrible with this people's names. But he comes up, he's on this show, some show that I'm doing, and he goes, "Hey man, how you doing?" I'm like, "Pretty good." It's like, "Yeah, I just wanted to say hey." I'm like, "Cool." It's like, "Yeah, what's your name?" I go, "Manolis." So he goes, "Oh, I'm so and so." I'm like, "Cool, man. Just saw your, just seemed interesting. I just want to meet you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And that was pretty well it, and he left, and I'm like, "Holy fuck, what the fuck is that?" You know? Weird things like that will happen sometimes, and that's pretty fucking rad, you know? But
I had a pretty milfy woman. I told her I was interviewing you tonight, and she texted her husband to get some jokes and or some questions. And it all was like Hamilton based. I don't really want to ask these, but I think I should, just to sort of put her on the spot. Were you? Has anybody ever made it in comedy by working in Hamilton?
by doing stand up in Hamilton, I would say, I mean, like making it to what extent, like famous, or just doing really well.
I don't know. Should we start a fundraiser and take a $1 bus to Montreal to give somebody from Hamilton a chance at succeeding?
Well, you have to audition for Just for Laughs. You can't just, if it was just showing up, I would have done that already.
What's it like never having to follow anyone on stage or never having anyone follow you because you're in Hamilton?
Okay, I don't know. I guess because no one's funny in Hamilton, I guess.
How's the underground Hamilton comedy scene? I understand nobody above ground is interested in anybody's acts.
I mean, like if you like Mace Galone, do you know him?
Were you neglected as a child and always trying to get attention?
That's everybody in Hamilton.
What do you do to relax?
Jerk off.
All right. Thank her for those questions.
Thank Mrs. Yeah.
Her name Karen?
No, but it's close. She's here. She's loving it.
Okay, so we have a question here about kind of like what just happened. So hecklers are commonplace in stand-up. What's your most memorable story of sparring with a heckler?
There's a video of it on YouTube where I'm at the Lion's Head, and this guy, I was just working on new jokes, and some guy was in the audience, showed up, and he was in the audience. He was there about 3 comics before I got there, three before I got on, and then he started heckling between or at the comics, and then he started heckling like one of the MCs, saying like, "Hey, I'll go next. I'll go next." And then the MC's like, "You're not on the show, bud." And I was like, "Oh, fuck. This guy's a fucking asshole. This is going to be a problem." I knew it, right? And so then I go up, and he says, he's not saying anything to me, and he gets I'm doing like new jokes and they're not really doing that well, and he gets up and starts to leave. I go and I just finished a joke and I go, see, that joke was horrible. You like even this guy. I go, even this guy's leaving. He's like, excuse me. He's like, fuck this guy. This guy sucks. Meaning I'm putting that's what he's saying about me, making fun of me, right? Excuse me, I'm burping. And then this guy goes, he goes, what the fuck? He goes, what the fuck you say to me? He goes, what the fuck you just say to me? Like that. And I go, no, man, what I was trying to say was, did you say fuck? And he cuts me off. He goes, did you say fuck me, man? Did you say fuck me? Like that. And I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, this fucking cunt, he's gonna pretend that he doesn't know what's going on because he thinks he's just gonna go right into it and think I'm gonna be like this guy going like, no, guy, no, don't hurt. Like, I'm gonna fear him, you know? And I'm like, so he says, did you say fuck me? I go right there. I go, hey, bud. I go, you looking for a fight? I go, you're looking for a fight? I'm up for one. All right?
Yes.
I go, I'm up for one. So if you want to fucking do this, let's fucking do this. That's the next thing I say. And then he's like, what? So yeah? I'm like, yeah. I go, look at I say this is psycho. I go like a fucking movie when shit happens, but it's like, it's good. You know what I mean? Like I go fucking, cause like when I get mad, I'm like ready to burn the fucking world down. Like I'm ready to I'm like, we're both going to die, dude. But I go like this. I go, look at my fucking eyes, dude. Do my eyes look weak? Do my eyes look weak to you? You think I go, you think I don't want to die? Is that what you fucking think? Go find someone weak. Go find someone weak. Because I'm not the guy. And then he's trying to say, like, he's trying to be like, well, fucking blah, blah. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? I'm still here. I don't want to talk anymore. You want to do something? And he's like, you could see, like, you watch the video. It's on YouTube. You watch it. You can see him, like, because he starts off like, yeah. And he's like, just start slowly fucking. And I'm like, there's something really beautiful. So beautiful. Like, when it's someone like that deserves it, you know, it's like crushing someone's soul like that. Like, you fucking cunt. You think you're going to step on my heart, you know? You think I'm going to fear you. And I made you fear me and walk out. You started this and you walked out with your tail between your legs like a bitch. Fuck you, you know? That was a good one. And I'm like, and then I put it on YouTube. Then I put it on fucking Facebook, and it got like 8,000 views in a day. Because Facebook gets more views than YouTube. But like, I'll tell you, man, I've never been talked to more about anything I've done on stage than that fucking video. Like for like months, people would walk up to me everywhere. It's like, dude, I saw that fucking video. That was fucking amazing. Because people love seeing someone stand up to a bully.
Delivery or timing, are they the same? Would pizza delivery guys be good joke tellers?
Yeah, I think pizza delivery guys would be good joke tellers. I think because they always try to make it there on time, so it makes sense. I'd say it's the timing and delivery and likability. I think honestly, I think likability is even more important than those things. Because delivery and timing is like something that happens. If you're funny, you're funny. If you're just funny, you're funny, and that things will just naturally get better and better. But if you're not likable and your jokes are gonna have to be 10 times better, you know, to overlook like how some guys are good at pretending they're likable. Like I've met so many comedians through the years where I'm like, this guy's fucking rad. Like you just see him on stage, I'm like, holy shit. Then you get to know them and you're like, holy fuck, this guy's a psycho. Or this guy's crazy, or this guy's so unlikable. It's like sometimes some comedians, the best thing they could ever do is just never let anybody know anything about them, like off stage. Just do your comedy and get the fuck out of there, man. Because if you talk to someone too much, you're like, the audience members are going to be like, that guy's a dick, you know?
Right. Well, we love you for coming on here. We adore you for coming on here. Thank you, Manolis, for coming on here.
Thanks so much.
I feel like we're gonna make out.
Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Well, Pat and Ralph's show, definitely check that out. Corkscrew.
Absolutely.
Ralph
Ralph and Pat are corkscrewed.
Yes. Steve Jaradat was listening earlier. He's a fucking dude. Just Levity Comedy Club is going to be back in business hopefully soon, like once COVID's over. And like I don't know. I guess I have a podcast called Friday at 420's. Friday at 420 podcast. It's on Spotify and everything else on the internet. And I really enjoyed this. You know, I know I'm an aggressive soul, but it's the only way I know how to be. So
yeah. I'm a good listener, so I was just soaking it all in. It's good to meet you. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, man, it was great. I can't wait to get you involved and let's get some stuff going.
I'm down like too. Like if you, I'll like if you got a skit you wanted me to be in or anything, I'd love to work with you, man. Both of you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing you on stage once all this craziness subsides and we can get back out there.
Absolutely.
Is this a weekly thing that you're doing right now?
Every Tuesday.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So see you next Tuesday.
That was in our life, right? It's just a loop. Okay, man. I guess I'll talk. You guys, I don't even know. What did we do? You just hang up? Or how do we do? All right. Well, I hit the X.
You can hit the X if you want, or you're free to stay as long as you want.
I just want to say thank you one more time.
Thank you so much.
No, listen, guys. I'll go. So you guys can do whatever the next thing you're gonna do. Okay.
Thank you, Manolis, for coming on here. You were wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for. Thanks. I love you guys. All right.
I love you too.
Love you too.
I feel like I know you. See, there you go.
We're good.
Yeah. Family.
Familia.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll do.
Bye, Manolis.
We'll do my.
Okay. Up the phone. It's like, okay.
I'll miss you.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. All right. That was amazing. Well, that was a wonderful show with my first show back.
Pee so badly. Can you just finish
it off? Okay, I'm going to finish this off. I want to thank everybody. I can't play the guitar, so I cannot play you out. So what I want to say is thank everybody for joining us who popped in for a moment or who stayed the whole time. Thank you to Manolis for being here, for sharing his stories and his wit with us. And we are going to be back next week with a very special guest from Wildfire Feature. More info on that very soon. One of our cast will be coming on for a full interview who has not been on the show in a full interview yet. So we look forward to that next Tuesday. As far as me, I've been Nicholas Jansen. Thank you for welcoming me back. This has been a wonderful show. I've been in St. Catharines for the last few months, but I'm back in Toronto, the city of dreams, the city of stars. I don't know what else to say, but with that being said, Jade, should I just close it out? All right, I'm going to close this out. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and have a great Tuesday. And happy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Hope everybody, has fun safely, responsibly, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye now.